Blue Protocol had an interview with IGN recently, and I want to go ahead here and go over what they said. There aren't really many MMOs left right now that really excite me, and that might be because ultimately they're either cheap mobile games, really bad quality Chinese or Korean cash grabs, or in the case of Chrono Odyssey, a half-assed, incredibly incomplete mess. I have played every iteration of Blue Protocol. I played the original Blue Protocol. I have done over 100 different videos on this game since it released on this channel for, I think now going on 6 whole years. I'd say Star Resonance is 85% improvement and 15%, oh god, I hope that this doesn't make it into the final iteration of the game. Let's go ahead and jump into this interview because I'm genuinely curious what was said. I'm going to condense this into something that's very easily digestible because the article takes literally 30 minutes to read out loud. Roy, who is the founder of Bokura, decided to sit down and provide a very in-depth look at Blue Protocol Star Resonance, which is an anime MMORPG launching this year in 2025 globally on PC, Android, and iOS. But don't worry, this is not a cheap, crappy mobile game like the Grand Saga was, like Terrasland was. This is, and for the most part, feels like a PC MMO with mobile designed as an afterthought. Roy went on to emphasize that Star Resonance is being designed primarily for fans of PvE and casual gameplay, aiming to deliver a focused experience rather than trying to cater to every type of MMO player. As an example here, PvP or RP enthusiasts. The goal here is to avoid the pitfalls of the original Blue Protocol, of which there were numerous, which suffered from trying to appeal to too broad of an audience. I understand this. Find something that works, stick to it. Don't try to be a master of everything because it's just not possible. The core gameplay does revolve around combat and various different progression systems. There are 5-player dungeons available, there are 20-player raids available. These are definitely doable as a casual player, but they're also somewhat challenging as well, based off of what MRSSTIX and I got to experience in the beta test. He went on to address community concerns about monetization. Supposedly, they are committing to avoiding a pay-to-win model, while the game includes pay-for-convenience options such as currency conversion for faster progression. All progression items, including those for endgame content, can be earned through gameplay. I'm not sure the extent of this. I'm not sure the extent of what's going to be sold or what they deem faster progression, but I guess we'll find out either in the Chinese release or when the game launches later this year. The trading center is supposedly a unique feature that allows players to trade resources, ensuring that paid boosts benefit the broader community by circulating valuable items in the in-game economy. The system, in theory, aims to maintain balance and fairness, preventing wealthier players from dominating progression. The community went on to express interest in dynamic, unscheduled world events. These are things like fates. These are things like the dynamic events that happen in Guild Wars 2. But Roy went on to note that resource constraints mean the initial release will prioritize core gameplay elements like combat and dungeons specifically, along with zone-wide enemies, bosses, elite monsters. However, such events are under consideration for post-launch updates, with Bokura open to evolving the game based on player feedback, which is great to hear. The game includes life skills such as fishing, cooking, crafting, which do go to add depth to the overall experience, but these are also common in MMOs. The open world is vast and honestly is designed for exploration, with activities like parkour quests and housing systems that are supposedly being worked on to enhance player engagement outside of combat. Star Resonance is explicitly aimed at anime fans like you, like me. This is not going to appeal to everyone. It features an entirely new storyline and an actual storyline this time. There are original characters and honestly an even deeper, more complex character customization system than the OG Blue Protocol that allows players to create unique avatars. The game builds on the anime aesthetic of the OG Blue Protocol but introduces fresh narrative elements to keep the experience engaging, and it genuinely does. This game actually feels like a narrative experience as opposed to the original. Roy did go on to hint at the possibility of collaborations with popular anime franchises, though no specific partnerships were confirmed. Such crossovers would probably align with the game's target audience and enhance its appeal to anime fans, and gacha games typically tend to do this all the time. Bokura confirmed that they place a strong emphasis on community-driven development. Roy went on to outline plans for regular engagement with players, including developer talks and potentially live streams with subtitles to reach the Western audience. This approach aims to ensure the game evolves in line with player expectations and is also kind of what gacha games typically tend to do. They have 4 major patches: a live stream that has either developers or cast members come on, document the different things happening, the different things releasing. So this is a very unique approach to an MMO. Thus, I'm curious to see how this ultimately ends up playing out. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. A global beta test is in the works following successful beta tests in China, one of which I got to participate in myself along with MRSSSTIX. We have a video for that up. While no specific dates are currently provided, Roy did indicate that the global beta will be announced very soon. This offers players an early chance to experience the game and provide feedback. Although given the game is released in China now, or releasing in China this month or next month, I don't think really much of that is going to have any real effect on the game ultimately. Roy elaborated on some of the things that Star Resonance introduces, things that are different, things that are in theory significant improvements over the original Blue Protocol that was developed by Bandai Namco. There are brand new classes. These classes have completely diversified playstyles. The combat has been revamped, including entirely new dodge mechanics. This makes battles more dynamic. This makes battles more skill-based. The dungeons have been enhanced. They now require greater coordination and strategy. They're also longer, but they're also simpler. The bosses are more fun. There's a larger variety of them. They were a ton of fun when MRSSSTIX and I got to run them. They were just a little bit more difficult to access because there wasn't a LFG tool making it easier for players to access. It instead required everyone just kind of go to the dungeon entrance and party with each other to run. It does feature fully cross-platform play. The game supports seamless play across PC, Android, and iOS. The game is built as a PC game. It is stated here that it has a mobile-friendly UI to ensure accessibility for mobile players. This is for the mobile platform. This is not a mobile game with a PC-friendly UI. This is a PC game with a mobile-friendly UI. There's a clear distinction there. They are working on housing systems, they are expanding parkour quests, they have an improved raid system. They're hoping all of this adds variety to the gameplay. He further went on to state that these enhancements aim to address criticisms of the original Blue Protocol, such as lackluster combat, limited endgame content, while maintaining its vibrant anime aesthetic. Roy acknowledged the challenges of developing an MMORPG, particularly the need to balance ambitious features with resource limitations. Bokuta's focus is on delivering a polished core experience at launch, with plans to expand content like dynamic world events based on player demand and feedback. The studio's small size is noted as a factor in prioritizing certain features, but Roy emphasizes their commitment to transparency and iterative improvements, leveraging community input to refine the game post-launch. And if there's one thing that we've learned recently, it's that a studio size doesn't matter. The size of a studio does not inhibit a game from being good. Regarding the global audience here, Bokuta is working to make Star Resonance accessible to Western players, with efforts like subtitled live streams and global beta tests coming. I just wish, honestly, that we had a confirmed release date and that global release alongside China, concurrently with, rather than after. In conclusion, Blue Protocol Star Resonance is honestly a pretty thoughtful evolution of the original Blue Protocol. This is designed to deliver a more polished, anime-inspired MMORPG experience. It focuses on PvE, much like the original did, which had no PvP whatsoever. They are attempting to avoid all pay-to-win mechanics, and they are prioritizing community feedback. Bokuta is aiming to create a vibrant, accessible game that resonates with both casual players and dedicated MMO fans, with a little bit of a predisposition for anime anyway. I'm glad that Bokuta and Roy specifically here is being very transparent about everything, and they are hopefully going to provide a high-quality experience for all of us when the game launches this year. Honestly, I was really happy with the interview. I think he touched on a lot of great, important aspects of the game. MRSSSTIX and I didn't get to experience everything when the beta happened, but we'll likely be streaming the Chinese version of the game when it launches in preparation for the global version. Again, the game was a lot of fun. Is it going to be game-changing, genre-defining? No. But at the very least, it was more fun than Chrono Odyssey, it was more fun than Throne and Liberty, much more fun than Ode of Valhalla Rising, much more fun than Grand Saga and Terraceland, much more fun than Crystal of Outlaw. So, at the very least, something I'll be able to have fun in for a couple weeks until I finish all the content or ultimately grow bored and move on. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you are not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.